Hey, I'm Tyler,
This is Matt.
and we're with Glenborg Games, and today we're going to be doing a game development review of the game What Never Was. It's a first-person exploration puzzle-style game. It was made mostly as a solo project by Acke Hallgren. He's Swedish, so forgive me for the name. Essentially what it is a story where you play as a character Sarah, and she's recently had a death in her family. Her grandfather dies, and she's going to go collect her stuff from her grandfather's house, and you get to explore the house and move around and solve some puzzles. What's cool about this game is that where there are story elements, but it's mostly focused on the art and the feel of the game as opposed to gameplay. And so we'd like to go over a few aspects of the game, what was good about it, what was not so good about it, and how you can avoid those as you develop your own game. So we'd like to start with something that we both, Matt and I, thought was really big, was the mechanics of the game.
One of the biggest parts of the game is while you're playing, you walk really slow, and when you walk, it takes you a little bit to build up the speed. That's an interesting design choice. Since it's such a small room, the entire game takes place in the attic. You have to be very methodical about how you're moving around the room, because if you're going to travel back and forth, it's going to take a little bit.
It detracted from the whole feel of the game. There was one aspect that was nice about it, was that it forced you almost to look at the scenery, right, which was the target of the game, but it still felt far too slow. It felt like you were making not enough project in the amount of time that it was taking you to do the things. And so overall, you'd kind of want to find a better balance for that, something that would force the player to see the scenery and what's around them, but also be able to accomplish the task that they want.
Definitely. Another thing we notice is all the game is interacted between right and left clicks. Left click would do the description of the object, right click would interact with the object. It almost got to the point where left clicking was kind of useless. It wouldn't really give you any information that would help. You just pretty much just right click everything to interact with it, see what you could do with it.
Another issue with it is somehow the mechanics would get a little screwy, at least when I played with it. I'd go to open a drawer, and then the drawer would instantly close as well, and that really just irritated me, because there's this section where you're just opening 10 drawers or so looking for the puzzle pieces. So I ended up opening them all, and some of them I ended up having to open up maybe 4 times to be able to get it to stay open as opposed to opening and closing. So that's something to make sure that you're aware of as you design your own game. Another thing, like we said, this is a very art-based game. We wanted you to look at everything, and so while we were looking at everything, we noticed a really key feature of the game.
So when you're in this attic, there's a window. When you look out the window, everything inside in the attic looks really nice. You look out the window, it's really poor 3D rendering. It almost even looked like that you could see off the edge of the world. Kind of not what you want to be doing when you're looking out a window.
I know they didn't mean for you to really look out the window, but the scenery was so beautiful that how could you not? You wanted to go see and explore and see what they had done with the rest of the world, which was, sadly, nothing.
Another thing I noticed is in the beginning credits, on the left side of the screen, the letters were halfway off the screen. But other than that, the main gameplay was in puzzles. There was 3 different puzzles. Most of them were a little confusing on how you were supposed to get to them.
And then indications on where the puzzles were located was a little bit ambiguous. You kind of, after a while of playing, figured out where the main puzzles were going to be. You didn't know if there were going to be more puzzles until the end when you finished it.
There was one specific puzzle where you're manipulating this grandfather clock and you put the hands in the right locations. I had a problem where I would pass it and you had to go back all the way around the clock. It wasn't quite intuitive, and every time that I would make a mistake or click the wrong hand, it would voice over, and it was like, yes, I know, I messed up, I have to go all the way around, please stop, I know what I'm doing. And eventually started giving me hints this is how you do it. And I'm like, I know how to do it, I'm just incompetent. Our overall feel of this game is, it felt good. There's a lot of things it could work on. It really feels like it could be a good lead-in to a larger game. Say you release a demo of the game first. This would be the first level introducing the story. The story was interesting, Eventually, you're transported magically after you finish all the puzzles, and it almost feels like you want to go on this magical adventure for the rest of the game, but there is no rest of the game. It just kind of, it's over, and then you're like, poof, you're done.
Which would be fine if there was going to be a sequel, but as we've looked up Acke and his website, it doesn't look like there's going to be, which you want to consider when you put an ending point to the game. And it was supposed to be a little bit symbolic with the title What Never Was, and it's supposed to be the story that never was. It kind of leaves me as a player feeling a little bit empty and hollow because I wanted that. I wanted more, and it just kind of ended, and now I'm pretty sure there won't be any more, which kind of makes me sad.
Alright guys, that's what we thought about the game. We really enjoyed playing it. You can check it out on Steam. It's called What Never Was. Let us know what you think. Thanks.